Group F, France, the heavy hitters, highest ranked in the group, Jamaica, Brazil and Panama. Talk us through this one, Kath. How do you think, let's start with France, highest ranked in the group, 5th FIFA ranking in the world. How do you think they're going to go?
Well, as we all know, they've had a lot of issues off the pitch with their former coach, Corinne Diacre. They've got now Hervé Renard in the hot seat, no relation to Wendy Renard, their star player, which is a solid centre-back and a set-piece specialist, which is going to be a key player for them. And coming back into the fold of this team, I think is going to be a key player for them moving forward within the Women's World Cup. And, you know, we can't underestimate them. They're ranked 5th in the world, and they're a quality team. And as we've seen every year, they've come from strength to strength. So they're going to be a big powerhouse in this competition.
And it was just at the last World Cup. So in 2019, they bowed out to USA, who obviously went on to be champions in the quarterfinals. And they also reached the semi-finals of the Euros for the first time in their history last year, where they were then beaten 2-1 by Germany. So they definitely come into this tournament as a European favourite in Group F, most certainly. But if we look a little bit further down Group F, Brazil, we know the history of the Matildas, particularly against Brazil. This is their 9th World Cup appearance, and they have long been at this level of international football. But how do you think this squad will fare coming into the World Cup?
I think in terms of how they've been set up and their preparation for the World Cup, I probably would say it's probably Brazil's best preparations. We've seen recently that a lot of their players have been playing in the USA, and I think this is purely to do with Pia Sundhage, who's making sure that the players are, being ready come this World Cup time. We know that Marta's just been included in the squad, and she's announced that this will be her last World Cup. But what a quality player Marta is, and again, another player that I played against in the 2002 Youth World Cup, and to see her still playing, and she's been under a bit of injury cloud at Orlando Pride, but to see someone like Marta on the world stage again, it's just going to be unbelievable for Brazil. And I think she's the type of player that actually gives them that lift and that, that sense of pride and passion and what the Brazilian nation is all about.
I think it's pretty special to see a player of her calibre coming not only to Australia but for her World Cup, and knowing as well that it's her last. It will be a pretty special occasion. And when we look at some of the other teams, the other nations in the group, Jamaica, just their 2nd World Cup appearance, but they did have their best World Cup finish in the group stage in 2019. As well, Panama, their World Cup debut. Between Jamaica, Panama, not too far in terms of their rankings. I mentioned Jamaica ranked 43rd in the world on FIFA World Rankings, Panama 52nd. How do you think these two teams are going to play out?
The Reggae Girls, Jamaica, again, another nation that is unpredictable, when it comes to football. We've got to talk about Kadisha Shaw as well. She's an informed goal scorer that's been playing in the WSL for Manchester City, and you can just see what type of qualities she has. And to have someone like that on your team, I think, is a massive push for Jamaica. As we know, Panama, they're ranked 52 in the world. It's their World Cup debut. They've qualified for the World Cup after beating Papua New Guinea 2-0. And as we know, Spencer Pryor, who's also a former Australian assistant coach, led them in that qualifying match as well. So, look, it's going to be an interesting one in this group. But I think looking at it, the powerhouses in France and Brazil will be the ones that are going to work through in this group.
So how do you think that's going to play out?
Look, I really think that France is going to be the one that's going to top this group, and then Brazil's going to come in at an easy 2nd in this group.
Hard to disagree with you there, Kath. We're on the same page there.